This wasn't the video I had planned for today, but I watched the 1.99 sneak peek stream, and seeing some issues with the HSTV in it, I felt obligated to make this. Granted, everything on the preview stream is not final, and is subject to change, but I still have my reservations and I'll get back to that later. I want to preface this by saying that I don't think the producer featured in the stream, or anyone at Gaijin, is inept. The producer is clearly pretty competent, and is fairly knowledgeable on the HSTV project, which makes me wonder even more why the in-game model is incorrect as it is. The HSTV is by far my favorite tank, because everything about it is stupidly fast. The reload rate, the top speed, the acceleration, the turret traverse rate, it's all just over the top. The HSTV was a light tank testbed, which was built and trialed in the late 1970s to early 80s, alongside the high mag test vehicle. The cannon was specifically designed to break through heavy armor by burst firing. It used a swing breech mechanism fed by a 6-round carousel. The carousel was replenished by a separate autoloading system. Sources go back and forth on just how fast the cannon fired. I've seen sources claim 1 round every 1.5 seconds, 1 round every second, and 1 round every 2/3 of a second. I'm inclined to believe the last one, given that the other claims are from secondary sources, and primarily via word of mouth, whereas the 2/3 of a second claim comes from a primary source, and has a graph showing exactly how fast the gun could fire. Now I'm a bit disappointed, because Gaijin didn't go with any of these. Gaijin is using a figure of 11 rounds per minute, giving the HSTV a reload rate of 5.5 seconds per round, because that's what the HSTV's forum suggestion claims. Problem is, if you try to find the source for that claim, it leads you to a website called Global Security. And if this website doesn't look suspect to you, probably have a beige monitor, and believe that George Bush is still president. Global Security doesn't source the claim either, so for all we know, this figure is complete fiction. So Gaijin blindly followed a forum suggestion while making the HSTV. Big deal. They can just fix it. Well, here's the scary part. They fully acknowledge that the HSTV was capable of firing a lot faster than every 5.5 seconds. On stream, the producer said, verbatim, in testing, it had a firing rate of 1 round per second.
And on testing, it had firing rate about one fire in the second, as I know.
Yeah, one shot per second.
Yeah, 1 shot per second. Yeah.
My God.
So they said that the 5.5 second reload was a mistake or a placeholder, and that they would give it the correct reload rate, right?
No.
They explained exactly how the HSTV worked and that it was not performing as it should in-game, but they just dropped it there. This doesn't give me a lot of hope. I'm already in the process of trying to appeal the reload time, but if they're fully aware of how it should perform, yet won't do anything about it, why would they listen to me? Not only is the reload rate about 9 times slower than it should be, but the HSTV's gun depression is messed up too. I have multiple sources that all state the HSTV could depress its gun negative 17 degrees to the front, negative 30 degrees to the side, and negative 6 degrees to the rear. In the live stream, the HSTV only had negative 13 degrees of depression to the front and sides. Why? I have no clue, honestly. Maybe it's this piece of test equipment that's bolted to the front, which doesn't show up in almost all photos of the HSTV being tested, and wouldn't appear on the vehicle if it ever went into combat for some reason. Now I'm not so sure about this one, but the gun seems to have way less penetration than it should. I was expecting it to be about on par with the automatic. Its maximum pen is 276mm. To give that some perspective, that's worse than the round used by the T95E1, and that's a round from the 50s. The stat card claims that the round has a muzzle velocity of 1,463 meters per second, or 4,800 feet per second, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, given that case telescoped ammunition typically has a lot more propellant in it than a conventional cartridge, and should be going a lot faster. Their source for the round's information doesn't explicitly state what round it's talking about, so that could be the origin of the problem. Not only that, but they got the round's designation wrong too. It's XM885, not XM855. They also say that the case is combustible, which is incorrect. It's a bit difficult to tell given the stats are set for arcade, not realistic. It does appear that stuff like turret traverse rate, horsepower, weight, and top speed are all correct. The hunter-killer system they talk about, meaning that anyone in the HSTV can drive or use the gun, is also correct. But I don't know if they'll model that. The armor listed in the stat card is sort of a mixed bag. It's supposed to be more than that, but it could just be placeholder. Or, more likely, the base armor is 38mm, and there's an add-on plate that brings it up to its actual thickness. I'm worried that the issues I stated won't be fixed because it doesn't seem like they're just placeholders. The 11 round per minute figure is taken from the forum suggestion, and as I stated before, they know the cannon should be firing faster, but didn't say anything about it being changed. The gun depression number is close enough to the real number that I doubt it's not what they consider to be correct. If they fixed all the aspects that are definitely wrong, while keeping the current penetration figure, I think the HSTV would be fine at 9.7 or 10.0. The penetration for the cannon is low enough that it'll have issues reliably penetrating gun mainlets for the top tier MBTs. Its mobility will certainly help it get sight onto them, but top tier MBTs have pretty quick reaction times, so I don't think that strategy will always work. And that's about all I have to say for now. I guess we'll just have to see what it looks like on the dev server. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.